Hello and welcome everybody to another Thursday night edition of Aquaholics Anonymous. I am your host, Fish Room Fever, and of course I've got my buddy, pal, co-host, and best friend, Chattanooga Ed, here with me. Ed, as always, I appreciate you being here, buddy. Looks like we've got a lot of awesome people hanging out today. So I wanted to start off with a little bit of a funny story, and then we'll open it up to Q&A, because generally we don't quite get through all of the questions in the chat. Of course, the camera's going to do this thing again. There we go. I'm going to try not to move. It seems if I don't move, it doesn't do that. But I talk very much with my hands, as I'm sure most of you all know that are not first-timers here. Anyway, nonetheless, I got a text message from a friend of ours, Sean Peck, and he's like, happy birthday. I'm sorry I missed your birthday. And several other people messaged me happy birthday, and I'm like, well, what's going on? My birthday is tomorrow. Normally, I'm not a birthday guy, and I don't even, like, if it worked for the family, there wouldn't even be a cake. I was like, this is weird. And then I realized that through either just neglect or maybe I did it intentionally, I don't remember because I don't like giving Facebook information, but somehow my Facebook birthday for the Fish Room Fever page got set to June, like a week ago. So I thought that was very funny. The great news was I could go back to, like Sean was like, well, don't feel bad. You actually didn't miss it. You're early. So, but I have to say, normally I don't direct people to the Fish Room Fever Facebook page, but I would recommend you go over there just to check out the birthday video that Sean Peck, Peck Tech, added on there. He actually sang me happy birthday with some of his clones. That was amazing. And a huge thank you to him. But now my birthday is actually in a couple of hours on the 2nd. And that's the only reason I brought it up was because of that crazy thing that happened. I was like, well, you know, I've got people wishing me happy birthday. I didn't really want to go back individually and be like, that's a Facebook screw up thing. Fantastic Freaks. I've got that. I've got it over there where I can't reach it.
I love this shirt. I think it's my favorite shirt.
But yeah, so that's why I figured we'd just do birthday Q&A since it's a couple hours away. But that's my funny story. Kind of a note to self, make sure if I'm doing anything that's public, like Fish Room Fever related, I know now to make sure that's correct because people will notice it. So I do really appreciate that. Yeah, very interesting. Now, I've always been one of those people that I've worked past my birthdays in terms of like, oh, the other day was my birthday. And I only noticed because of like work schedules and calendars and things. But I do want to make sure it's opened up and everybody is, and a huge thank you to everybody. Happy Sweet 16, said Rebecca Jackson. Thank you so much. Thank you. A couple more years and I'll be 18. So there we go. Now, if only. Well, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to go back. I know a lot more now than I did then, and I'm a lot more settled down. If you do have questions or comments or things you'd like for us to discuss tonight, we have opened the floor up entirely to the chat. We're going to let you all take the steering wheel for better or for worse. While I'm letting some of those roll in, let me go up here, grab some highlighted things. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
I would turn back time in an instant if I could do it over. Just to, I loved playing sports so much, and when I lost that, it just really stunk. And I wish I would have taken a little better care of my health.
Absolutely.
You know, it was kind of ignorant, or I was ignorant to the fact that I was hurting my back, but and I was given bad advice from a doctor. But still, I should have been smart and gotten a second opinion.
Absolutely. I know I could definitely agree with you on things like that. I wish that I could go back and say, hey, you know, you can take better care of yourself. But I've grown so much since then. I feel like that I wouldn't want to go back to being that young, ignorant person that I once was. You know, you live and you learn. But I'm going to, normally I wouldn't jump right into super chats, but let's go ahead and say a huge thank you to some people real quick while the questions are rolling in. Melissa Foster with the $5 super chat says, happy born day, guys. Thank you so much, Melissa. Very much appreciate that. Let's get the party popper away from the mic.
When she said born, I was wondering if it had something to do with that Born Identity movie.
Oh, right. I think that was spelled differently.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was Robert Ludlum. That was one of my mom's favorite authors growing up, and I
Oh.
snagged some of her books from time to time, along with her music.
I don't think I ever. I think I only watched like 2 of the movies, and one of them, it turned out he wasn't even in it. The main character.
Oh yeah, I didn't really get too much
Hawkeye
into the
was.
movies, just because books and movies stray so much apart.
Yeah.
We got Rico Stan. What's going on, buddy? With $20 super chat, says happy early B-Day, dude. No lyrics today. Thank you so much, Rico. Surprised there's no lyrics, but I do very much appreciate you. I appreciate the support.
And
Carol
double
Cox.
thank you for no lyrics.
Yeah, double thank you for no lyrics. How about that?
It's a birthday gift that keeps giving.
Absolutely. Carol Cox with $5 super chat saying happy birthday. Thank you so much, guys. Please don't feel obligated to do the super chats just because of that. I had that funny story, and it involved the fish fam and involved you all and some fish tubers. So I wanted to share it with you, and I figured, why not? You know, birthday Q&A, that rhymes. That goes well together. But I do greatly appreciate it. IHSPS's Tank Tribe with 2 super stickers, $1.50 piece of cake with the candle on it, some birthday cake there. Thank you so much. I am looking forward to that. I'm not disappointed if there wasn't a birthday cake, but now that I have, you know, a family and kids and whatnot, there's always birthday cake. So that's one thing that's kind of nice. So thank you for that, IHSPS. Applause. Forgot applause for a couple of people.
We had a fun birthday last year for you.
Yeah, that was a blast. That one actually fell on my birthday, and so we did. And I intentionally did a birthday thing. This one, it's not till tomorrow, so I wasn't going to do anything. But again, with that funny situation, why not, right?
Well, maybe it was 2 years ago when we were in the blackout.
It might have been. It might have been.
Crazy.
I don't remember. It is. It's hard to believe it's been a couple of years now since I started the channel, and I've had some birthdays on it. IHSPS's Tech Tribe with another $1.50 super sticker with the ice cream cone. Thank you so much, cake and ice cream. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I'm going to have some of that tomorrow. Not that I need to have any of that, right? JFK2 with the $25 super chat saying happy B-Day. JFK, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. And I missed the applause for a couple of people. Let's get those in there. There we go. There we go. JFK2, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Again, you all don't feel obligated. Just wanted to share that story. Michelle Kinsey with a piece of birthday cake with a $1.50 super sticker. Thank you, Michelle. It's always a pleasure to see you. Appreciate you. Well, that one popped out. That one should have been for Bob Kaler. He always got the defective ones, remember? The $1.50 piece of cake. Thank you so much for that and the birthday wishes. I'm trying to keep that away from the mic, because I know we had some issues with the party poppers and headphones. And then Xanadu, let me pull it up over here because it's not showing yet down there. Our buddy Xanadu, I hope those guppies are doing well, or Endlers are doing well for you, my friend. Was $5 super chat says, woohoo, happy B-Day, my friend. Cheers to you both, and thanks again for the streams. Well, thank you again, as always, for your support, my friend. Really do appreciate you.
Look what I just made
here today. Oh, awesome.
An Aqua Balls magnet.
I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's dive in, grab some questions off of here. Get anything highlighted. What's going on, Colored Guppies? M&C Aquatics, thank you for the happy birthday. Rebecca Jackson there with the Sweet 16. Thanks again for that. Rolling and a scrolling. Matt F says I'm with you 100%, James. I believe that was when I was talking about not really being a celebration birthday guy. Let's see. I'm going to try and stop moving. It's really hard for me to do. Again, a bunch of awesome people throwing super chats and stickers. A huge thank you for all that support. I do really, really appreciate it. Michael74M saying happy birthday. Fishaholic. Ooh, here we go. Don't you freeze on me now. We'll get back up to it. I will find it, Fishaholic. All right, there's that with you 100%. There's MedCow. There it is. Fishaholic says, Fisherman Fever, happy B-Day, dude. Have a great one, a.k.a. S. Shrista, a.k.a. Sean. Thank you so much, Fishaholic. And yeah, I love that name. Absolutely love that name. Dragon Lair says, happy anniversary of your coming to the Earth Day. I love it. M&C Aquatics, my wife's birthday is the 2nd as well. Well, happy birthday to her. That is awesome. I've met a couple people throughout the years that have the same birthday, and that's always fun. Sarah J. Sieber, thank you as well. Everyone and is scrolling. Matt F says it's my favorite. All right, slow down here. Got a little panicky because nothing wanted to work right before the stream, so we started like a minute late, as I'm sure most of you all probably noticed. But Matt F says it's my favorite 2 hours of the week, hanging with Fish Room Fever and Chattanooga Ed. James, I got me 6 L333s for your birthday. I'm hoping they come tomorrow. That is amazing. Beautiful fish, and congrats. Love, as you know, love plecos. And thank you very much for the birthday wishes. And thank you for that, that is your favorite 2 hours. We really appreciate that. We really, really do. That means a lot to us. That's why we do it, to hang out with you all and entertain and sometimes educate, but a lot of entertainment, right? All right. Rebecca Jackson says, what water conditioner do you use? Safe, Prime, etc. So I am almost always Prime. It's not that I have anything against the other water conditioners, but Prime is my go-to, especially as many tanks as I have, as many gallons of water that I change out. And a lot of that has to do with dosage. A lot of the things like, let's see if I've got API Stress Coat Plus, which makes tap water safe. Not an API plugin, not sponsored, but we bought this on our trip back up. Had to grab some water conditioner. So this is, let's look at it. I use it so rarely, I don't even know. 5 mLs per 10 gallons. So you got 5 mLs per 10 gallons. This little bottle does 230 gallons. So this is basically one water change on this double system that you can't see because I'm on a different camera setup than we used to be. But this is a 175 gallon system in total. You can't even get 2 water changes out of this bottle here. Whereas with Prime, it's 1 ml per 10 gallons. So it goes a lot further. That big bottle that I get that treats like 9,000 gallons is about $25 here at my local fish store. This bottle is $5 where I got it at to treat 230 gallons. So huge difference. Nothing against the stuff, nothing against API. It just financially doesn't make sense for me to dump $15 into the tanks every time I do a water change,
That's why I changed. You think that this is cheaper.
Yeah.
And I really love the caps.
I do.
This one's completely empty. I use Prime now just because it goes so much farther. It costs more, but in the end, you actually save.
Absolutely. And I actually save the caps. I'm sure you probably do too. When I'm done with the bottle, I keep the caps in my little box of random fish stuff.
And I just keep the whole bottle.
I mean, I have before. It got to where I was getting so many of them because this was my primary thing at one point. And go through it so quick. I was like, I'm not going to keep all these bottles. I'll just keep the caps for measuring purposes. No, absolutely. They're great reusable things. Matt Davis says, thanks for doubling my subscriber count last week. Matt, I'm glad to do it. I know that wasn't your intention with sending me the link. I don't know why it's doing this, but no, you are more than welcome. Glad to help. And you've been a supporter, big time supporter. So figured it was the least I could do to kind of help you out a little bit with that.
James, this is something I picked up at the store. Have you ever heard of it?
Let me move the camera.
Wine glass markers.
I have not.
You're supposed to if you're at a party or something, you can write everybody's names on their wine glasses. So when everybody gets drunk, they don't spread germs. But I was thinking I would use this for writing information on my fish tanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a gray, green, gold, and aqua.
Definitely. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know, though, if it erases. That's what I was wondering if you knew.
Well, I was going to say I actually use permanent markers for writing stuff on my tank. And because it's glass, it just either you can wipe it off with rubbing alcohol or it just scrapes right off.
Oh. Okay. Well, maybe I should just read the pack.
I wouldn't necessarily put it on the frame, but if you're writing it on the glass like I kind of figured you were, which is what I do with the permanent markers, I mean, if you can take permanent marker off of it, there's no reason that won't come off of it. I imagine it'll come off fairly easy considering it's meant to go on wine glasses, which would typically be something you would wash and reuse. Where did you get them, Chattanooga Ed, says Matt?
Yes, easy to wash clean with soap and water.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond. It was like I was checking out and I saw them and I'm like, I'm getting those for the fish room. But something is kind of disconcerting here. It says that these were made in 2018.
So
that's kind of old.
That is kind of old.
No, I didn't get these at Bed Bath & Beyond. I got something else I got these at Walgreens.
Oh, nice.
I
wanted. Fishaholic was saying I went from API to Prime to Safe Powder. Saved a ton of money. Highly recommend. Absolutely, the Safe Powder is my next step that I'm looking at doing. Just because, again, so many tanks, so much water volume. And for anybody that doesn't know, that's basically Prime, but in a powdered form that's even more concentrated. So it's just a little teeny scoop of powder to treat your water, and you're good to go. Lefty is saying those markers work, but once condensation from ice gets on them, it comes off easy.
I don't put much ice in the tanks, but there is humidity.
There you go. R&B Animal Rescue says, what are some good ideas for a community tank for a 55-gallon? So I'm going to, and again, this is just my thoughts and opinions, of course. Cool. If something in this list doesn't, come back to me. I'll bring you back to me.
These are cool. They come in a little container.
That is neat. I'm kind of looking at the mini monitor to see you. For 55, and of course, if any of these fish are like not your speed, because typically my response would be a non-answer, such as, well, what fish do you like? Get those. But I would recommend going planted for that community tank. That being said, don't want anything too big with the 55. I'm really rummy nose tetras. I know that gets old, if you will. A lot of people recommend those, but a nice school of rummy nose is an absolutely beautiful thing. Angels, of course, is a huge thing for community tanks. I love angels. I've got angels behind me in the 110 community there. Get you some Cory cats for the bottom, your preference there. And then a couple other different kind of tetras. I do have the glow tetras is in the glowfish, but not those. There's another one. It's glow tetra, but that's just the name of it. It's not the actual glowfish. Those are really neat. You don't see them a lot. Lemon tetras are a fun one, but they get a little bit bigger than some of the other tetras. Let's see. What else would be good in there? Let's see what people have got in the chat. I know people are going to be getting suggestions in there. Yeah, swordtails are nice. Swordtails are definitely nice.
My swordtails just exploded, and I have a whole butt ton of baby swordtails.
James raining on Ed's parade. I'm sorry to rain on your marker parade, buddy.
Oh, no, it's all right.
I know you get lost in packages sometimes.
They don't have a smell.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to sniff them. They would have been really good. I wish they would have added the flavor like they used to back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I love smelly markers from the 80s and smelly erasers.
Right. M&C Aquatics says Angels and Cardinals. Good answers there. Good ones. I like those. Of course, I'm going to say get you some sort of pleco in there. Not a common, not even a bristlenose. Maybe do something a little bit different. Maybe clown pleco. I'm trying to look in my head at different tanks and different plecos.
How about a whiptail?
Oh, yeah.
Or not a whiptail, the lizard ones.
Those are awesome. Absolutely. Really cool. Tetras, Rasboras, Cory cats. Yeah, definitely some Cory cats in there. It's always fun to have those guys. If you want to do something a little different, depending upon how aggressive the angels are, maybe do you a couple of hatchet fish. You don't see a lot of those. I've always been a fan of those. Or one of the African butterflies. I'm thinking surface level right now, kind of what for the top. We've got the bottom and the midsection and the various other areas of the water column.
I'm my favorite rice fish in my next 55.
Very nice. Very, very nice. My best piece of advice that I give anytime, come back to me, come back. Anytime someone asks, what should I put in there? If you have a local fish store, which I know some people don't, but if you have a local fish store, I really recommend you take, maybe an hour block out of the day that you can, and just go down there and look around, see what they've got. Look at what sparks your interest, look at what piques your curiosity. Of course, research those things, make sure they're compatible with the tank size that you want, and then go from there. If you don't have a local fish store, you could do the same on whatever website that you're planning on shopping on. Kind of browse around what they have. Another thing you could do is simply, hey, go on YouTube, search community tank, community aquarium. Look at some different videos, see what people have in their tank, see if there's anything that you're like, oh, I really want that fish. And then if you can't figure it out, we're generally, here to help and available. Or you could, leave a comment on that person's video. Hey, what is that fish? That's probably the best way to find out what a fish is. What was that fish at minute marker, a minute 47 seconds that was swimming across there? Those are some good ways to find some fish that maybe you're not familiar with that catch your eye.
Well, it'd probably be easier instead of people asking us what would be a good fish for a particular tank, because almost every fish is, depending on how much you like it. If people would say, what do you think of this? Like Melissa just said, a Danio tank. And that would be awesome too. Having a lot of Danios just going everywhere.
Absolutely.
It'd be fun. But there's just so many different things. And we could maybe we could say the parameters or what's hard about these or good about them, or, what's a bad tank mate for them too.
Absolutely. So MedCow74M says, wondering if Safe works the same as Prime, because I spoke to Fritz and they said ACCR isn't exactly like Complete. ACCR doesn't do anything for nitrite or nitrate per Fritz. Yeah, so you definitely get into different molecular makeups depending upon not just what company you go with, but even what product line from that same company. So that's always something to be aware of. You definitely do have... like your Prime, it works on nitrites and nitrates. And the way that molecular process works is that actually the molecular bonding, come back to me, the molecular bonding lowers the oxygen level in the water. And it does release those things after a certain time frame. That bond breaks and then those things go back into the water. So it's not a remover so much as it is a temporary detoxifier, I think is the best way to probably put it. As something that if something's going terribly wrong and you need a quick, pause the situation so I can get it fixed, it is great for nitrite in those examples.
Sean Peck had an amazing video on different types of dechlorinators. He took 5 different leading brands and he did each one just a bit, bam, bam, bam. Mm-hmm. And they almost all measured up equally. But I shouldn't have just gave away the ending to a story. I should have said, go watch it. But maybe they all ended up equally. But, it was the price lines was basically what you want to do is how much do you want to spend?
Absolutely. Real quick, I've got to say a huge thank you. I don't know if you're in here still or not. That was about 5 minutes ago when you said this, but Farmhouse Fish Room says, dedicated member of the replay crew. Just wanted to tune in and say happy birthday. Thank you for tuning in. And also a huge thank you for being part of that replay crew. I know there are a lot of you all that cannot make it due to the time of night. So those of you that are hitting the replay hearing this, I do really appreciate you. And I'm always thinking about you when we're doing these things. RB Animals Rescue, you are more than welcome. See, Paul Stewart, pencilfish, black ruby barbs, Lefty 3213A says 2-spot catfish would be a different fish. Absolutely, that would be a pretty cool fish. Let's see. All Danios, like Melissa said, yes. And I think Melissa was the one that asked about a species only 55. I saw somebody mention it, but it wasn't highlighted, and I went to look back for it, and things jumped around. Some good species only things. 55. I think Daniels, like you mentioned, is a great thing. We're honestly, again, rummy nose. If you've never seen a really, really large school of rummy nose, it is an amazingly beautiful thing. You could, of course, do the basic larger fish like your angels or things of that nature. But really, I like to think of smaller fish if you're going to do a species only, because it's so cool to see the big schools or the big shoals of those little teeny fish. Something that I'd probably never see because it would cost a lot, like most of the tetras would, and they're so small you'd have to add more ember tetras. I've really been hooked on ember tetras lately, as a lot of the regular viewers, I'm sure, are noticing. So a 55 full of Ember Tetras would be amazing to me. But again, that's personal preference. Sorry,
James and I saw some awesome rummy nose in Cincinnati. They were albino rummy nose. Rockin' Fish, he bought a couple, and I'm pretty sure he has a video, but I'm not for sure what it's titled or anything. So we'll have to ask him sometime when he's on. But they were really neat. They had an orange face instead of a red. Remember that, James?
Yeah, they were definitely an interesting fish.
You know, I forgot all about that fish store. I never edited it all together, but I shot a whole bunch of film in that store. I need to put it together. I don't know.
I
Did you ever make
put
a video of it?
I didn't. I pieced together the editing on it, but we got so much footage in there.
I know. That's I think why I've been staying away from it.
Yeah, I think that between the two of us, we each got at least 30 minutes of footage, maybe closer to an hour. So yeah, it's a task indeed to try and piece that all together.
For sure. But they had some really unique stuff. Like James came away with some awesome platinum pencil fish? No, half-beaks. Oh, they are so.
There we go. Sorry, the camera's driving me nuts.
And then I got some dragon thorns or devil thorns. They're a type of snail that I just love.
They are awesome. They're a very cool snail.
I was going to say, how are they doing? See, they're in a tank with a bunch of baby catfish, and normally you can't see it. But look, there's one of the devil thorns. Awesome. He wants to watch the stream as we go.
What's going on there, little buddy?
But he's actually pretty big. He's about 3.5 inches long.
So another one, I can't believe I didn't mention it, species only, bucktooth tetras, Exodon paradoxus. They are an amazing fish. I know Kenny E. at Danigan Aquatics has them now. I love these guys. They're really, really fun fish. And there's something that if you can't have piranha, they're a very close thing in terms of their swarming and their aggressive feeding behaviors, I guess is a good way to put it. They're kind of like my go-to. People say, I can't have piranha in my state. What would you recommend? Get them. They're really cool looking. They're fairly aggressive. You definitely don't want to put a bunch of other fish in with them, I'll tell you that much. All right, jump on down to the bottom here. Yeah, just ready to troll. You got to love trolls. You got to feed the trolls, right? Just coming by to say happy birthday. Appreciate that. Rico State asking if it's autofocusing. Yeah, it's got to be. So without digressing too far into that, it's got to be something with the autofocus. It's constantly trying to refocus, and the lighting's not helping. I've tried different lighting. I've got the lighting different tonight than I normally do. I typically don't have the overhead light on, and it's on tonight. I was hoping maybe that would do it, so it wasn't trying to get a good glimpse. Plus, you've got the lights in the background, so I'm going to have to continue to play with things. Paul Stera says, "How about Goodeids for that 55?" Hey, there you go. There you go. Absolutely, another awesome fish, beautiful fish. You don't see it a ton.
Aquatic Aesthetics, my fish store is in the house.
What is going on, Rob? All right, Zen Ginger says she has coffee. I may start over. All right, so welcome everybody to. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the lighting is rough, and that's like I have to wear the hat, otherwise it's like shiny. Mess with the other lights. I turn it down. I turn it up. Play with them. We're just gonna do it live. Why not, right? Mess with the lighting. See what happens. All right, let me get back through here. I'm going to pause my screen, the chat on my screen there. So I want to say thank you to a couple more people. Carrie Habercorn with $10 super chat says, happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful day. I appreciate that. I really, really do. And I'm sure I will because I'm hanging out with you all tonight. By the time we get done and we wrap up Ed's show and Ed and I get done talking afterwards, it'll be midnight. It'll actually be my birthday. We'll go hang out with Mrs. Fever, hang out with the kids tomorrow and just have a fun family day. So that's all I need. What gets better than that? Probably play some video games with the kids, all that type of stuff. So I plan to enjoy it very, very much. Thank you for that super chat, Carrie. I do appreciate you. That was empty. So thank you very, very much for that. And we got our buddy Mike here with Fish Tank Barn. It's getting ready to do another saltwater episode. One thing about Studio is that you can never see the bottom chat in Studio. So let me scroll up here and find it real quick. I know he had mentioned getting some saltwater fish. All right, it's not going to let me see it there. Let me see if I can get it to pull up here. Mike, I have to wait a second and I'll pull that up. Zen Ginger, thank you for that. It says James needs members for his birthday. I'm not going to complain. I won't push it, but I'm not going to complain. If you wanted to do that for my birthday and catch the behind the scenes stuff, the more the merrier, right? Really wish I could get Mike's super chat to come up there. It is so far up the chat, I can't see it. I will find it here in a little bit, buddy, and then I'll say a thank you. But I'm going to say thank you right now before I even get to it. J-Rock does stuff. What's going on? Hello and welcome. Let me look here. Lots of cake and ice cream in the chat. Thank you for that. Looks like the camera's doing a little bit better with the lighting down low. Maybe. Delilah's Critters, how are you? Says, hey, Fish Road Fever, happiest of birthdays. How did you celebrate today besides hanging out with your fish fam, of course? And there, I just gave you the answer. Not quite there yet. For anybody tuning in late, the only reason I did a birthday stream the day before my birthday on a regularly scheduled day is because there was a mix-up on the Fish Room Fever Facebook page where it was saying my birthday was last week. And some fish people commented on there, said happy birthday. Sean Peck did an awesome clone video on there, so I wanted to tell that funny story. Oh, now I can get to it. Here we go. Fish Tank Barn with $10 super chat says, happy birthday. Went saltwater fish shopping yesterday. The sticker shock was real. Yes. So I have been kind of looking around every time I go to the local fish store. Shame on you for telling my age then, but yes. Every time I go to the local fish store, which I've been doing a bit more of now, especially we're in the planning phases with Aquaticon, getting things nailed out and solidified. And saltwater, there's always a little bit of a sticker shock when you get to look at those things, but especially right now, given import issues with the pandemic and things of that nature, it just makes it a little rough. I will say the shows, events, fish swaps, club meetings, things of that nature, maybe not necessarily for saltwater fish so much, but for corals and things, a great place to get some stuff. I wound up getting some corals for pennies on the dollar because people didn't want to haul them all the way back from Florida Aquashella to California, which is where they were based out of. So there you go. But thank you again, Mike, Fish Tank Barn, for that $10 super chat, my friend. And I need to go see if you did a video. I'm curious what new fish you got. Well, that one, that one's empty. Shame on them. We'll just keep shooting those at the camera to keep refreshing it, right? Right? That'll work. We've got D. Shattuck with the $1.50 super sticker with the birthday cake. Thank you, D. Do appreciate that. Welcome. I don't believe I've seen your name before. You may be one of the awesome lurkers. I know there are a lot of people that lurk and don't talk in here. So I really do appreciate you all. Don't think I forget about you or that I don't know that you're there, because I'm a huge lurker myself. So it's very much appreciated that you all support in that way. And thank you for that super chat. Darlene's Tanks with $3 super chat saying happy birthday. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you. Of course, you all remember questions, comments, things you all want to talk about fishy related. Please throw that stuff in the chat. I'm always scared to do the Q&A sessions just because if Ed and I have a topic, there will be more questions than we can answer after we get through the topic. If I leave it open for just Q&A, it seems like we don't have the same amount of questions. So I'm always like, oh, there's going to be dead space. And Ed and I have gotten pretty good at covering dead space, but that's always a fear of mine, if you will, when we leave it just a Q&A with no topic. But a huge thank you, Darlene's Tanks. I appreciate you. You all may run me out of party poppers today. Dollar store was running low due to the holidays, is what they said. I would think, and this is just my opinion, having done retail management for so long, but you'd think they'd have an ample supply because of the holidays.
I've been in top chat the whole time.
Oh, shame on you, Ed. I had to double check when you said that. But I am in live chat, thank goodness. Metalhead's Aquatic Mayhem says, happy birthday with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Metalhead. I appreciate you. You can see the smoke coming out of there from the powder. Very, very cool.
Metalhead's a great name.
There we go.
They're my
Williamsburg
favorite
Aquatics.
type of
Okay. All right. I got you, D. Thank you for letting me know. It's so hard sometimes to keep up with the different aliases and name changes and things. It's sometimes like, hey, I haven't seen your name before, and that's because it's a different account or a new name.
Wait, what was the new name or the old name?
Where did it go? D. Shattuck was saying I'm AKA Williamsburg Aquatics.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that name. I see some questions rolling in. I'm going to grab these 2 super chats right here real quick. Melissa Foster throwing out a $25 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Melissa. Let's see if I can pull it right there. Says, I got to bug out for water changes. Wish we'd had more time at Aquashella. Keep on keeping on. Pow. That party popper. Yes, I wish we had. There's always next time.
You know, while we're talking about Melissa, can I talk about the Tennessee Fish Mafia?
In 2 seconds.
Okay.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. I got one more I want to say thank you for very much, just in case that person rolls out. Normally they hang around. But again, a huge thank you, Melissa, if you're still listening. I do really appreciate that. Sorry we didn't get to spend more time together. But there's always next time, right? Stephen P. 2003 Fish Tuber with the $5 super chat says, it is your birthday. Thank you so much, Stephen. Yes, here in about an hour and change. So I appreciate you, buddy. And of course, I appreciate you hanging out and all the support that you have for the channel and the love that you're constantly showing. But we're going to hit the applause there. Boom. And then, as soon as that dies, we'll let Ed do his thing.
Well, I just wanted to remind everybody in the Tennessee area, you know, you don't have to be from Tennessee, but the Deep South Guppy Show is going to be the last day of this month, July 31st and August the 1st. I think I need to find out more what's going to be going on the 2 days. Like if one day is just 2 hours, then we're going to do the other day. You know,
yeah,
we want to be whatever day is the biggest, but I think we'll try to do whatever. I think Saturday is the 31st. And we're going to try to get as many of the Fish Mafia to show up to the Guppy Show. It's an IFGA show, so you get to see a lot of pretty guppies, and we'll get to hang out and talk. Maybe make some guppy videos if you want. And then we're going to go, and I think we're going to have some barbecue. John Cox knows Murfreesboro really well. And I think he said there's a barbecue place like behind it. And I think my dad and I took him to it last year. So, but yeah. So we're just going to have a good time. We're going to raid the place and have a good time.
Much.
I haven't talked to anybody from their club. I might tell them the Tennessee Fish Mafia is showing up, you know, and see, those old people will be like, yeah, who cares? But it's going to be a blast, a lot of fun.
Well, and I will actually get to attend. I know that was kind of on the fences wonderful. There because I thought I was going to have to go somewhere else for another thing, but I am free of having to do that thing, so I will be there. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I've got 2 other close time events then also. I just thought about bringing up. I believe it's the 11th. Chattanooga is going to have their second swap.
Ooh, nice.
And they asked us if we would want to talk at the thing and be key speakers. What do you think, James? You want to do it with me?
I would love to do that. I've never done that, so that would be awesome.
I've been wanting to tell you that. So I'm going to let the guy know that's in charge that you and I, and let's talk fish rooms. Fish Room Fevers and Chattanooga are going to talk fish rooms at the Chattanooga swap. I don't know if it's before or after the swap. We'll give you guys details, but I think that's August 11th. Not for maybe August 7th. I don't know for sure with the dates. Sorry, guys. And then somebody else sent me a thing that they wanted me to read. I'll read that one off in the next stream because I already forgot what it was. It was somebody else's event that's coming up this weekend.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, James.
No, you're fine. And that's awesome. I'm excited. I'm sure you can tell from the big grin on my face. That's very cool. I've done like work-related talks and things, but never gotten to do a fish talk. So awesome.
That is super cool. Golly. Oh, man. It was just today. I think it was John. Okay. It's July 11th. That's in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to be in Joliet, Illinois. It's the Greenwater Swap Meet. So we'll give you guys more details in the next stream about that. I wanted to make sure if it was one of our subscriber shows or somebody that's not subbed. What's it called? Part of your membership?
Oh, members, yeah.
Yeah, a member. We would get it on this show too, but
absolutely.
We'll talk about it in the next one.
All right, I'm going to grab some questions here. We've got M&C Aquatics' Fish Room Fever setting up a 20 long, thinking glass cats, cardinals, one apisto, and a clown pleco, maybe a few marbled hatchets. Cardinals, apisto, clown pleco. You could, you could probably get by with that. I don't necessarily know that maybe three hatchets. I just worry about
having there's a lid.
Yeah, definitely make sure there's a lid. I'm just thinking surface area. You could probably get by with 3. I hate to do less than 3. I prefer to do a couple more than that, but maybe 3 of them. They're not super, super crazy active except when they are jumping, trying to get out of your tank. But yeah, I'm liking the sounds of that. Glass cats are very cool. You don't see a lot of people with them. Of course, cardinals everybody loves. Single apisto there, kind of keep any aggression or territory issues down with that one lone apisto. And also give you a nice, cool centerpiece fish almost, depending upon how you wanted to look at it. Yeah, I like that. That sounds good. And that's plenty of room for a clown pleco. Those things stay so tiny. Go through here. Whips World saying happy birthday a couple hours early. Enjoy the day. And thank you, Whips World. I appreciate you, my friend. Medcast74M says thought you were done with the party poppers. Well, it was one of those things. I was going to stop because of all the plastic waste, and then basically got mobbed into keeping them. By popular demand, we came back with them. And Ed has a wonderful use for the plastic. So
I actually do want to make a cool. I'm going to make this. James and I play this game with Sean Peck, and it's called Gaslands. I don't know why it should be called Gas Races or something different. Lands or Death Race. Oh, that was probably used. Well, but I wanted to make walls because you can go to Etsy and buy these walls for the racetrack, and they cost $100 or a couple $100. So I thought I would make a whole bunch of those because I'm going to cut them and make them look like they're just giant, barrels are all over the place.
Yeah,
make the tracks. Hey, there's Kenny E.
Kenny E with Daniken Aquatics.
Did you know Kenny's been suffering from the heat?
No, I didn't know that.
It's been super hot in Seattle or in Portland. I think somebody said it was 118 index. So he's been having to keep his tanks cool, and he's been using ice cubes and frozen bottles. What would you do to keep your tanks cool if your AC broke in the summer?
So that's definitely one thing you can do is the frozen bottles. Another thing you can do, and see, it doesn't really work with that many tanks because I know he's got a lot of tanks. You can a lot of times use a fan directly above it, blowing right across the top of the tank. That causes evaporation and water cooling. But that's a lot of tanks to buy fans for. Here we go. Make sure I'm not frozen. Really the bottles and the ice is about the only way with that many tanks.
My tubs, I use fountains, the little fountains that you'd put into ponds and stuff. And I have 2 with just cheapy ones and 2 with good ones. And the good ones are keeping it 3 degrees cooler than the cheapy ones.
Oh, nice.
Which I think is pretty awesome. But would a hang off the back actually possibly help with that water?
It might. It's definitely going to do some. The degree or percentage, I don't know. But especially if you took the top off of the hang-on back, where you're getting more evaporation from more splashing around, it's definitely going to do something. I don't know how much in that size. And, of course, it's going to depend upon how big the hang-on back is. If it's a 110 aqua clear, that's got a decent amount of surface area in it where you can cause some evap. Which would help with some cooling. But
now, how about if you made a spray bar? Like if you had a canister filter And instead of just having the water under the water, if you put a bar across the top and had it spraying down.
Theoretically.
Now, this is another thought I've had about spray bars on why they're good. How do you think they do against duckweed?
I've not had luck with spray bars versus duckweed. Duckweed has been triumphant. I know that in theory, duckweed can't survive if the surface of it gets water on it. But I've had duckweed that just tumbles in the water flow and it doesn't kill off enough to get rid of it if it is killing it off. I'll put it that way. Just in my experience. I'm sure there's somebody out there it's worked perfectly for, to each their own tank, right?
Dirty duckweed. I'm always thinking about trying ways to get rid of duckweed.
I say you take the shot back and just... I know you got guppies and lots of baby fish and stuff. But Lefty3213A says, how do you catch mbuna when they're always hiding behind rocks or in caves without wrecking the escape and making a water mess? So it's hard to do it anymore because they changed the formula. But that was actually one of my favorite things to do with the Sarah Onip tabs, was use them as bait. So I would stick them against the glass. So stick the tab against the glass and then have a net already in the water back behind it. And then when that fish came up, try and net it that way to kind of make a trap for it. Other than that, sometimes there's no good way to do it. You could check out the Sean Peck video on the Tank Mates bubble trap. I've been kind of watching those guys progress. It's an interesting product. So maybe look at one of those, but build a trap or just that simple net method is typically the way I've done it. I'm going to grab these as we scroll through here since I don't want to say caught up, but I'm hitting them as I'm hitting the questions. BJ Palmer with a $10 super chat says, happy birthday with a big old birthday cake, and says for Future Fish Fund. Thank you so much, BJ. I appreciate that. We may have to go get a new fish. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to take all that and put it towards the finalization of the 220 gallon. So thank you very much for that, BJ. And that will be our future fish because that will get those piranha in there. And that'll clear out a tank for some other fish. Let's see. Paul Stare says, so James, what's the next fish species on the bucket list and why? That blue piranha is still on there in terms of going and catching one. That's kind of my bucket list fish right now. I'm not really looking at adding anything to the fish rooms currently. Right now, it's trying to get everything back to breeding. We were doing really, really well, had a lot of breeding going on. Intentionally stopped some of it. Some of it just stopped because of condition changes and temperature changes. So right now I'm trying to get everything back up to optimal breeding and living conditions, if you will. Making sure all the fish are living their best life, So that's really my goal right now. In terms of new fish, that would be more babies. I'm seeing lots of babies pop out from the different guppies and endlers. I need to get my bristlenose pairs breeding again. And that's what will make me happy. Let's see, catching all the highlighted stuff. It jumped. I'm going. All right, we'll find it. There we were. But no, that's a good question, Paul. Really haven't come across anything that I'm like, oh, this is the new fish that I absolutely have to have. There are a lot of beautiful fish out there. Kind of happy with what I'm keeping right now. Kenny E with Dan Aquaholics, $2 super chat says, happy birthday, brother. Kenny, thank you, dude. I'm so looking forward to getting to hang out with you again. It's like the last one I've got for tonight, folks. Hopefully the dollar store will get some more in. I'll go fussing them because I know how much good that did when I was a retail manager. But thank you, Kenny. I appreciate you, brother. Not necessary, but very much appreciated. And I've got a huge pile of plastic for you here, my friend.
That's awesome.
Can't wait to hang out with you soon.
I know. Yeah. I've got to head up there and get the RO system from Sean, so maybe we could play some games and do that.
Absolutely. Come back to me. Just going to keep bringing y'all back, right? Regina Flanges has just added 20 yellowfin white clouds to my water garden. I kept them in an aquarium for a week just to enjoy their beauty. All over now. I see it. All I see is just the occasional shadow. Yeah. That's a shame, but at least you've got them in there. You know how pretty they are. But yeah, I can definitely relate with, the fish being down there where you can't really get the good view on them. But I think that's awesome. You kept them in the aquarium just to enjoy them, from that view, that perspective for a little while. But very cool that you've got those in there. Lefty 32138 says, I've killed all my duckweeds still, fish room fever. Want me to come stick my finger in your tanks? I've got most of my duckweed gone, thank goodness. I think Ed's is always going to be a duckweed garden.
Yeah, I dump like 3 to 4 pounds a day. Oh, I sent some duckweed to someone. I wonder how it went. I wonder if they got it. That's Lance. If Lance, you're listening, let me know.
All right. Let me get back. There it is. Chat jumped on me again. Lonnie, a.k.a. Looney Tunes, with the $5 super chat says, happy birthday, James, buddy. Hope you have an awesome day. Thank you so much. I will. It's going to be hanging out with the family, eating some cake and ice cream. And, I've got some life changes planned for this month. As Zen Ginger mentioned, I'm 35 now, and I could definitely be in better shape and better health. So wish me luck on those things, because it's going to be rough. I am a smoker. I don't do that on air, but I am going to be quitting smoking. I'm also going to a healthier diet and getting back to some exercising. So wish me luck with those things. Those are going to be the big things. But, that just means hopefully I'll be around longer, right? Get in better shape, do better, more things.
You could do that MMA fighting school stuff. That's really hard.
Yeah, I actually did some of that back in the day. I try and stay away from that type of stuff. I wasn't in bad shape at the time. I mean, I used to deliver appliances, so I used to carry refrigerators all day long. Upstairs, up hills. We're in Tennessee. There's really not a flat spot, so you're delivering, washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, and you're constantly going uphill, downhill, all sorts of fun stuff. So I was in pretty good shape at that point. Not there anymore. But that's a whole nother thing. I see we do have some more questions in here. I'm going to grab those. We've only got about 6 minutes left. Then we're going to go head over to the Chattanooga Ed channel, and he's going to show us some really cool stuff. IHSBS's Tank Tribe says, will the dollar store allow you to make your own bulk orders on top of their usual order? So yes, I probably need to do that. I know you can go online and make orders for full cases. The issue is the case, if you will, and it's a seasonal case that these come packaged in. Also comes with those Snap It Pop-Its, the little things, the little white paper sacks you throw down with the powder in them and they pop. So it's not like it's just this item. I'd have to order, if they would let me, since it is a seasonal case, the case, it's half those and half Snap It Pop-Its. But normally it's not a problem. Normally they've got loads and loads of those things sitting on the back shelf up on the top out of the way. And I have a feeling they probably will again soon. They'll get another influx, and then I'll just stock up. Typically, I buy about 20 packs of them when I go in there. Let me get back up here. Paul Sotero says, since ONIPs have gone the way of the dodo, freeze-dried tube effects worms on the glass is the next best thing to help catch fish. Yes, Paul, that is genius. I forgot all about that one. So basically, you take that cube of freeze-dried tube effects, you get it in the water, you kind of smush all the air out of it, and then you can stick that against the glass like you would those ONIP tabs.
Is that Kokari that makes those cubes?
There are a lot of different companies that make those cubes. Hikari's got them. There are a couple others.
I have some frozen ones that I got from Rob at Aquatics, and I haven't even used them yet. I need to try them.
Absolutely. A lot of people go 35. I'm 55. Yeah, that's the problem. Is I don't look 35 and I don't feel 35. To actually feel like I was 35, I have to do the math. I'm like, wait, I'm how old? Yeah. I shouldn't get out of breath at Aquashella running up and down stairs, So, where was it? Back up here. All right, highlighted stuff. Jimmy Peace is Fisher Fever. Was still alive when I was 35. Happy birthday. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got to get back on track. Plus, as my kids get older, I normally don't talk about this and I don't do it on air, but as my kids get older, I worry more and more about them picking up smoking since I'm a smoker and their mom smokes. So it's really just best if we just quit now, get them, get that away from them and out of the house, so they don't pick up that habit.
That's a great motivational tool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to a completely different diet. I guess you could call it a vegan diet, if you will. My mom switched over about a decade ago to a lot of plant-based stuff, and the doctors were telling her she didn't have a lot longer to live. So, and she's doing great. She's a lot healthier now. So she's going to help me with that. I was talking to some other people, some fish tube people actually at Aquaholics that are doing things like that. So kind of making a circle of friends, if you will, that I can reach out to. But man, really missing this junk stuff that I used to eat.
Well, we'll still have to eat big once in a while when we're on the road.
So this is funny, and Katie wouldn't know this, but Katie Mitchell, my last name is actually Mitchell, says, Fish Room Fever, happy birthday. It's my brother James's birthday today, mine is tomorrow. That's very cool y'all have him like that. So I'm actually James Mitchell. That's the funny part.
Maybe she's actually your sister and you didn't know it all these years.
Who knows? Maybe. You never know, right? But that is funny.
This might be her way of telling you.
There are 3 James Mitchells just in Knoxville that I know of. There might be more than that. So that's always funny. You're not worried about people finding you? No, not really. There are a lot of me. So even if I tell you what my name is, good luck. But that's awesome, Katie. That is. And that's a really, really funny coincidence.
Is Katie Mitchell the same Katie that's in Knoxville?
I don't know. That's a good question. I want to say yes, but we talked to so many people. But a huge happy birthday to you, Katie, and your brother, James. That's hilarious. That's really funny. Super cool. Through here, Matt F says, I quit 10 years ago. I do vape now. Yes, I am switching over to vaping. I will tell you that. I'm still not going to do it on air, to each their own, but we try and keep this as kid-friendly and oriented as possible, family-friendly. It's not made for kids, but I know we've got a lot of people that are not 18 that watch, and we want families to feel like they can watch. Specifically, me being a parent, I can't tell you how many times I've walked in the room and gone, who is that? We have a list of YouTubers that the kids are not allowed to watch because they are not appropriate for the kids to be watching, even though the content may be, the way that they act is not appropriate for my kids to be watching. All right. Rico Stan, I will add it back on there. So I had the P.O. box in the descriptions. I've actually, long story short, and we're out of time, but long story short, basically I've been going through and changing the descriptions, making them better, getting rid of a bunch of the links and stuff. And the P.O. box is one of the things I deleted. I will email you my address, Rico Stan. I'm fine with you having my address. I feel comfortable and know you well enough for that. But that's one of the things that I'm working on. So you haven't been seeing the videos come out because it's been so much backlog of things I have to fix. I have a couple hundred videos that I'm redoing, thumbnails, titles, descriptions, in screens, all that stuff, catching up on all the comments I've missed, crazy things like that. And I apologize. I'm trying to get a better balance where I can get a new video out and get that stuff corrected. Just the farther away from it I get, the harder it is to get all that stuff caught up. It's quite literally 1,000 hours of things I need to fix on my channel to make better for you all, and hopefully bring more people into the Fish Fam here in the Fish Room Fever family and hang out with us every Thursday night. So I'm going to wrap it up with this last one. See, Rico Stan saying, perfect, just want to send you a little something. Rico, I appreciate that. When we switch over to Ed's, once we get him settled in, I will go ahead and send you that email real quick. Rico, yeah, I'm going to digress, but I will say my kids do say some inappropriate things from time to time, but they know what not to say. And if they do say something that's a little off color, it's used properly. It's in the right context, so that helps. That's always interesting. But we're going to go ahead and Katie Mitchell says, I remember your name. I won some plants from you. We're in Texas. Our Mitchells go back to Kentucky, and before that, Maryland in the 1600s. Very cool. My dad was adopted, so I got that name via his adopted parents. But you never know. You never know. I've got half brothers and sisters and all sorts of people out there that I've never gotten to meet. Paul, thank you so much for saying to enjoy the birthday. Exactly. Best present you can give yourself and my kids, and of course, I mean, you all as well, is to take better care of myself. So that's what we're going to do. That being said, let's go check out Chattanooga Ed's channel. He's got some awesome stuff coming up on his show, the Nocturnal Feeding Show, feeding your late night hobby hunger. I do want to say huge thank you to all the moderators, members, lurkers, listeners, super chatters, and contributors. Of course, the replay crew. I appreciate and love you guys. Until next time, you already know it. Keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Don't be afraid to catch yourself a little fish room fever.